Welcome back. All right, I'm employing it again. I am recording this between the second and third period of the game between Dallas and Colorado. At the very least, with the schedule they've had lately, there's just been one game a lot of the time. So, all right, good time to get ahead of it. We'll start out talking about Minnesota and Chicago. I would love to dress this up and say this was a really exciting game, but at any rate, it's Wallstead versus Soderblom. If you're a fan of Jesper Wallstead, well, there's a reason. Or Jesper Wallstead? I know sometimes they pronounce it Jesper, sometimes it's Jesper. We'll see. Early press by the Wild, and of course, if you're a Wallstead fan, today was a good day for you. Hartman has a chance is kicked aside. The shots are 3-0 Minnesota 5 minutes in. The Wild press at 6 minutes. The Hawks get some pressure at 7.5. Dickinson to Khrushchev, there's a near miss. The Wild draw a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 12-5 for Minnesota with 7 minutes left. Or 5 minutes left, I should say. The Hawks press with 4 minutes left, but the Wild close it out. It's 0-0 after one. Second period, early power play for the Wild, and they score on it. Kaprizov with his 40th. Great pass by Boldy to get that one. Eriksson with the other assist at 1:06. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Hawks look to respond. Vlasic's denied on a rush. The shots, though, are 7-1 for the Wild at 5 minutes. Wild press at 5.5 minutes are kept to the outside. Donato has a rush chance, that's saved. Athanasiou has a wrister, that's held. Murmis has a net drive that's defended. And then at 12 minutes and 30 seconds, Rossi makes it 2-0. Zuccarello and Kaprizov with the assist. That one's buried from the side of the net. Hawks press to respond, but at 18:27, Freddie Gaudreau, who hasn't had one in a while, he scores his, I believe, 5th of the season. Bogosian and Kaprizov with the assists. It was a point shot that he deflects in. It's 3-0 Minnesota. The Wild press for another, and it's 3-0 for them after two. Third period. Shots are 3-1 Chicago at 3.5 minutes. Athanasiou to Reichel. There's a near miss there. The Hawks press at 6.5 minutes. Reichel has a rush chance, that's saved. Zuccarello's denied and close. And then on a rush, Kaprizov buries one. Faber with the assist. That's at 8 minutes and 10 seconds. That makes it 4-0 at that point in favor of Minnesota. The Hawks press to respond. There's a post for Middleton as the Wild get some pressure. The Wild press again with 7 minutes left. Kaprizov to Zuccarello. That's picked off. But yeah, Minnesota goes in there and they beat Chicago at home 4-0. They go to 37-31-9 with the win. The Tony the Tiger Magnets there, of course. Chicago drops to 23-49-5 with the loss. Shots on net 13-5 Minnesota in the first, 16-11 Minnesota in the second. Both teams had 8 shots in the third. Final shots 37-24 Minnesota. Power plays, Minnesota 1 for 2. Chicago didn't have any. Hits 13-8 for Chicago. Wallstead saved all 24 shots for his first win and a shutout. I believe they said that's the first time that a Minnesota Wild goaltender has had a shutout in their first win. So kudos to him for that. Soderblom saved 33 out of 37. I might have been saying, but it is against Chicago. Thinking back to Annan and getting back-to-back shutouts against them. But again, a shutout's a shutout, right? All right, next up. Columbus and Carolina. Speaking of shutouts, it was Subban versus Anderson in 17 seconds in. Svechnikov. And when you're Malcolm Subban, you're getting your first start in a while. The last thing you want is Svechnikov coming in, and his far corner from the left circle, Martinook and Shea with the assists. So for Subban, who actually had a pretty good game, it was a rough start. Canes press at 3 minutes. 9.5 minutes in, the shots are 9-2 Carolina. Canes press at the half. There's a post for Danforth on a fast break. We get a power play for Carolina, and they score on it. Aho on a tic-tac-toe play buries it from the right circle. Gensel and Teravainen with the assists at 11:44. It's 2-0 Carolina. Columbus gets zone time, but they weren't getting shots at that time. Nylander has a net feed that's blocked. The Canes then press in the final minute, and they exit the first period up 2-0. Second period, Drury's denied on a fast break. We get a power play for the Canes as a result, though, so Drury draws that. We haven't seen the penalty shots being doled out like earlier in the season, and with that penalty, I was thinking, would that have been a penalty shot the first week of the season? Maybe. Nason can't bury one in close. We end up with 47 seconds of 5-on-3. And then Goodbranson's stick breaks, so it was 5-on-2.5 for a bit. But they do clear, and Goodbranson helps to get it cleared there, minus his stick. Columbus does kill that off, so kudos to their penalty killing there. Columbus presses. Nylander has a shot that's held. The Canes draw another power play. That was killed off. It had chances. 2 shots and a post for Carolina on that power play. The shots are 8-4 Carolina with 9 minutes left. Columbus presses with 7.5 minutes left. The Canes get some pressure with 6 minutes left. The teams exchange rushes. Gensel nearly adds one. The Canes press with 3 minutes left. But yeah, it's 2-0 Carolina after 2. Third period, early press by the Canes. Columbus has a 3-on-2. That's defended. We get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off, and then Sillinger's denied right after. Kane's press are kept to the outside. The shots are 5-2 for Columbus at 9 minutes. Natchez is then denied on a net drive before Teravainen scores one from the left circle. Slavin with the assist at 13:53. That makes it 3-0. There's a net feed to Werenski, near miss there, and Drury's denied in close. But yeah, 3-0's your final. So with this result, Carolina keeps pace with the New York Rangers. Of course, Columbus, they're outside of the playoff picture. So at any rate, shots on net 13-5 Carolina in the first, 11-9 Carolina in the second, 11-9 Carolina in the third as well. Final shots 35-23 for the Canes. Power plays Columbus 0 for 1, Carolina 1 for 4. The hits were 18-4 for Columbus. Subban went on to have a good game, 32 saves on 35 shots. So he allowed a goal on the first shot, but he saved 32 of the next 34. Freddie Anderson, 23 saves for the shutout, and thus the Tony the Tiger Magnet present on that board as well, or on that column of the board as well. Next up, Arizona and San Jose. Everybody's excited for this one, right? So, Ingram versus Blackwood. We get a power play for Arizona. Schmaltz fires one wide. Keller's denied. And then on a one-timer from the slot, Krause. Krause is heating up late in the season. He scores from Michelli and Cooley at 3:17, but the Sharks get a power play. They score on theirs as well. It's Thrun from Granlund and Zetterlund at 4:28. The shots are 4-2 for Arizona at 5.5 minutes. Sharks go back to the power play. That one's killed off. And then Liam O'Brien buries one. There was a wraparound try. O'Brien ends up getting the goal. Carconi and Kerfoot with the assists at 11:07. It's 2-1 for the Coyotes. Coyotes then draw a power play. That's killed off. Arizona presses after it's done. The Coyotes press again with a minute and a half left. They're up 2-1 after one. Second period. Early press by the Coyotes. Ozone penalty means the San Jose power play, though. Eklund's denied. That power play's killed off. Shots are 4-1 for the Sharks at 4 minutes. Granlund has a net feed that's picked off. Sharks go back to the power play. That one's killed off as well. Sharks press after it's done. Then the Coyotes get some pressure at 9 minutes. Sharks press back with 9 minutes left. And at 11:40, Cunnin scores to tie the game at 2. Thrun and Graf with the assists. So Graf with his first NHL point. Kudos to him for that. We then get a power play for San Jose. That becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. 2 minutes left. The Sharks get their fifth power play. The Coyotes take control towards the end of that power play to help kill that off. It's 2-2 after 2. Third period, early press by the Sharks. Granlund fires one wide on a 3-on-2. And then at 4:56, Dylan Guenther buries one from the slot. Kerfoot and Krause with the assists. I'm telling you, this is a good young roster in Arizona with the right additions in the offseason. Look out. Coyotes press for another. The shots are 5-1 in their favor at the half. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Valimaki can't bury one in close. It's held. And then Keller scores from Schmaltz at 14:13 to make the score 4-2. San Jose would pull the goaltender. Schmaltz hits the empty net from Keller and Dursey at 16:54. So your final score in this one's 5-2. Arizona goes to 33-39-5 with the win. With the loss, San Jose 18-51-8 on the season. Shots on net, 10-7 Arizona in the first, 12-7 San Jose in the second, 10-8 Arizona in the third. Both teams had 27 shots in this game. Arizona 1 for 3 on the power play. San Jose 1 for 6. Hits were 13-7 Arizona. Ingram 25 saves on 27 shots. Blackwood 22 saves on 26 shots. All right, and the last one on this board, the Ottawa Senators and the Washington Capitals. So this battle in the East now is ridiculous. Are there 3 teams that are 36, 30, and 11? I think there are. So that's fascinating. I think Philly, Pittsburgh, and Washington all have the same record. This is going to be an interesting last 10 days of the season. Approximately 10 days. So it's Korpisalo versus Lindgren. They had a ceremony before this for Carlson's 1,000th game, so that's always nice. Pacioretty has a goal this block. The Caps press at 2 minutes. Pinto fires one wide from the slot, and then at 4:43, Pacioretty, who hasn't scored in a while, he scores on their second shot of the game. Lapierre and Milano with the assist, and it was a good forecheck, and then it's buried. And for Ottawa, allowing goals on the first or second shot has been a problem for a while. They overcome it tonight, but yeah, it's been a problem for a bit here. So the Caps look to add another, but the shots are only 2 apiece at 7 minutes. I also thought Ottawa did a good job of, okay, this is how Washington plays the game, so we're going to play their game. I thought they did well. Korpisalo had the sun in his eyes. So I don't know that I've seen this before. So at the Washington Arena, the sun is setting, and if the curtain's open that you go through to go into the arena, there's a window right there, and that window shines the sun directly into the eyes of the opposing team's goaltender. Home ice advantage is not supposed to mean that. So they actually had to stop the game so that they could fix that curtain. And yeah, the referee's even standing there like looking, and it just I don't know that I've ever seen that. You wouldn't want the sunlight directly on the ice anyways. I would think just from that perspective, you don't want that. But yeah, that light was traveling a ways. Anyways, they fixed it, but I had to put that on the board because just I don't know that I've seen that before. The Sens press at the half. Batherson tips one wide. The Caps press. There's a near miss for Tom Wilson during that pressure. Things get pushy on the hole by Lindgren. Liljegren plays for a different team. Lindgren in this case. Things get punchy at the horn. It's 1-0 Washington. It's because I'm trying to get through this to make sure I see the start of the third period. I've started to figure out my misspeaking a lot of the time is because I'm talking a little bit too fast, so I'm trying to turn it down a little bit. So it's 1-0 Washington after one. Second period. Caps start with a full power play because it was punchy at the horn. We end up with 48 seconds of 5-on-3. The Sens kill that off. There were 3 shots for Washington during that. And then at 5 minutes and 40 seconds, Kastelik with a nice backhand on a rush. Nice goal. Ties the game at 1. Chychrun and Parker Kelly with the assists on that one. Shots are 4-2 for the Capitals at 7 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Lindgren. Caps press at 8 minutes. There's a near miss for Tkachuk and close. The Sens press are kept to the outside. And then Washington gets the lead back. Protas buries a rebound for his first goal in a while. Van Riemsdyk and Ferrari with the assists at 17-10. So after 2 periods of play, it's 2-1 for Washington. Third period. Shots are 2-1 for the Sens at 3 minutes. The Senators get a power play. Batherson has a one-timer. That's held, or saved, I should say. Power play's killed off. The Sens with some pressure after that's done. We get a power play for the Capitals. Pacioretty fires high during that. That power play's killed off. Sens go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. But the Senators would end up scoring. Ridley Gregg gets a goal from Pinto and Brandstrom at 12:49. So with Gregg and Brandstrom getting points, that's good news right there. You want those guys to have a strong finish to the season. Ovechkin then has a rush. That's defended. Capitals press with 5 minutes left. Joseph's denied on a net drive, but you could tell this was going to overtime, and it sure did. In the overtime, the Senators control early, and they would score on their only shot. Sanderson buries one from the point. Gregg and Tkachuk with the assists at 41 seconds. Ottawa goes in and plays spoiler to the Capitals. With an overtime victory, they go to 34-39-4 with the loss. Capitals are 36-30-11. I love this. I love that all these teams are right there with the same record, and we can discuss who's going to do what the last 11 days and all that. But anyways, it's 10 or 11 days. Shots are 5-4 Ottawa in the first, 8-6 Washington in the second, 9 apiece in the third. Ottawa had the only shot of the overtime. That's all they needed. Final shots are 21 apiece. Power plays 0-2 for Ottawa, 0-3 for Washington. Hits 39-24 for Ottawa. Korpisalo, 19 saves on 21 shots. Lindgren, 18 saves on 21 shots. So, at any rate, Ottawa gets a win. Now, I need to change boards, which I will bring that other board over here in a little less than an hour's time, I would think, depending on whether or not the game between Dallas and Colorado goes to overtime. Okay, so about an hour later, I might be a little grayer or balder. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where my hair has been racing about whether or not I'll go bald or gray, and the answer is yes. So we're going to talk about Nashville and New Jersey. Saros versus Kakkonen, and they showed the end of a baseball game first. I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to throw this in here. There were about 5 different networks that were supposed to be showing this game. Now, they didn't miss the start of the game because thankfully the 12-2 baseball game that the Boston Red Sox were winning finished. But all I could think was, again, you've got all of these networks, Sportsnet. Switch one of them over to the hockey game. Just, I know, it's crazy thinking, right? So at 1:49, on their first shot, New Jersey scores. It's Jack Hughes on a rush, Luke Hughes and Bratt with the assists. Nyquist then has a rush that's defended. The shots are 5-2 Nashville at 5.5 minutes. There's a press by Nashville at 7 minutes. Holtz is denied on a rush, and then at 8:39, Yossi scores. He gets that one from Forsberg and O'Reilly. Now, Kakkonen got shaken up on the play. He would exit, so Jake Allen goes in the net. Meyer then has a net drive that's blocked. The teams exchange rushes. The Devils press with 4 minutes left. And remember, Jake Allen played last night in the game for New Jersey against the Ottawa Senators. So you wonder, is he going to be tired? Goalies used to play back-to-backs all the time. So it's 1-1 after one. Second period. Early press by Nashville. Jack Hughes has a chance. That's held. The shots are 4-2 for the Devils at 3.5 minutes. McCarron's denied and close. There's a press by Nashville at 7 minutes. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. Luke Hughes then has a near miss. Puck's cleared out after that. We get a power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Yossi has a wrist shot. That's held. Novak is robbed as the Predators get some pressure. Forsberg has a slapper that's held. With 3 seconds left, the Devils go to the power play. So that rolls over into the third period. The score's still 1-1. It starts with Nashville killing the rest of that penalty, but then kind of out of nowhere, Tierney scores from Nosek at 2 minutes and 11 seconds. So it's a turnover and it's in the net. It's 2-1 New Jersey. And that was the only shot of the game 4 minutes into the third period. Devils, the only shot of the period 4 minutes in. I can't say of the game. 4 minutes into the period. So the Devils are taking control with the lead. I'm trying to make sure I'm thinking and hearing myself speak while I'm doing these. Because I don't listen to myself either. My wife doesn't listen. Why should I? But things get pushy on a hole by Jake Allen. The Devils have a 3-on-2. That's broken up. There was a post for Sissons as the Preds push. Devils got pinned down. Nashville ends up drawing a power play. It becomes 1 second to 5-on-3 due to delay of game. And I think it was the Carolina game too, where there's a delay of game that they're like, should that have been a delay of game? And it was kind of the reaction to this one as well. I don't know that the NHL would ever change it so that it would depend on the circumstance where the puck goes out or how it goes out. But at any rate, on that second power play, Nashville does score. Evangelista buries a rebound from O'Reilly and Forsberg at 12:45. And then Nashville presses for the lead. But we end up going to overtime. First overtime New Jersey scene for a while. Preds controlled early. Nyquist has a rush chance that's saved. He sure steals it. Jack Hughes has a shot that's blocked. Jack Hughes then gets denied. The Preds to get a power play. There was a shorthanded 2-0, and Brendan Smith can't fool Saros there. So we end up going to the shootout. In the shootout, Ryan O'Reilly has the winner. Nashville gets 2 points here. New Jersey drops a decision. They do get a point out of it. They fall to 37, 36, and 5. Nashville 45, 29, and 4 on the season. Shots on net, 12-8 Nashville in the first, 13-9 Nashville in the second, 8-5 Nashville in the third, 3-2 New Jersey in the overtime. Final shots are 35-25 for the Preds. Power plays, Nashville 1 for 4, New Jersey 0 for 2. The hits, 17-12 Nashville. Saros saves 23 out of 25. Kakinen saved 4 out of 5 before getting hurt. Allen went in and saved 29 out of 30 in relief. Not too bad for a goalie who played last night. So for New Jersey, their hopes are still technically there. Don't they have the same record now as Buffalo? What is it with records in the East? All right, moving along. The Montreal Canadiens and the New York Rangers. So it's Primo versus Shesterkin. And I have to tip my hat to Montreal. They did the best they could, but the Rangers are the best team in the league right now. So Lafreniere's denied on a wrister. The shots are 3-2 for the Habs at 4 minutes. There was a toe save on a Panarin net drive. Primo's the reason this game stayed scoreless for as long as it did. The Rangers press at 8.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Lafreniere. We get a power play for New York. That's killed off. Caulfield's then denied. The Rangers rush the other way. Rangers press with 4 minutes left. Armia to Gallagher. There's a near miss. And then Caulfield puts one in off Shesterkin's pad. Savard and Matheson with the assists at 19 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's a final minute goal. It's 1-0 Montreal after one, even though I thought they get outplayed by a pretty healthy margin for stretches of that period. So second period, Rangers press at 3 minutes, 4.5 minutes in. The shots are 5-2 in their favor. VC has a screenshot that saved. Trocheck fires one wide from the slot. Panarin's denied and close. It really was the Primo show at this point. The Habs press at 9 minutes, but we get a power play for New York. And that's the problem. You can't take any penalties against the Rangers because 9 seconds into this one, they score. It's Zibanejad from Panarin and Fox at 12:30. The shots are 12-6 for the Rangers with 5 minutes left. The Habs press with 4.5 minutes left. The Rangers then get some pressure with 2 left. And then with 28.3 seconds left, the Habs get a power play. So that rolls over into the third period where surprisingly it's 1-1. Third period, the Rangers finish the kill. The Habs press are kept to the outside. The Rangers draw another power play. They score on this one as well. It's Kreider from Panarin and Zibanejad at 3:59. Kreider tipping one in. Then at 6:09 on a nice give-and-go play, Panarin scores from Lafreniere and Schneider. So suddenly it's 3-1, and it felt like, yeah, this is kind of where this should have been. The Habs look to respond, but the shots are 10-5 for New York, 8 minutes in. However, Montreal would score again. Newhook scores from Matheson at 12:13 as Mike Matheson continues to put up a ton of points this season. The Habs look to tie it, but they're kept to the outside. and then at 16:56 on a turnover. So power plays and turnovers, that's how the Rangers get a lot of goals. Zibanejad scores this one as well as second of the game. VC with the assist. The Habs called the timeout after that. They would pull the goalie soon after. And at 18:45, Lafreniere hits the empty net from Panarin and Miller. Don't look now. Lafreniere's totals are really respectable. Your final score in this one's 5-2 for the Rangers. They go to 53-21-4 with the win. With the loss, Montreal 29-36-12. Shots on net, 16-11 Rangers in the first, 12-9 Rangers in the second, 18-9 Rangers in the third. Final shots 46-29 for the Rangers. Power plays, Montreal 0 for 1, the Rangers 2 for 3. The hits, both teams had 23. Primo saved 41 out of 45. Shesterkin saved 27 out of 29 at the other end. So again, Caden Primo, absolutely fantastic game. I can't fault him on any of the goals. The Rangers were just better tonight, and eventually that showed up. All right, next up, St. Louis and Anaheim. I'll be darned, they played an entertaining game, didn't they? So it's Binnington versus Dostal. 11 seconds in, Bolduc wires one from the left circle. Thomas and Parayko with the assist. So this is a preview of how this game's going to go. Blues press for another. Zegras has a rush chance that's held. And then at 2:37, Nestorenko gets his second NHL goal. He buries a rebound there. Lindstrom and Lundestrom with the assists. Shots are 8-6 for the Ducks at 5 minutes. We get a power play for Anaheim. That's killed off. Ducks press with 9 minutes left. But at 12:36, Matthew Kessel gets his first NHL goal. He gets that from Thomas and Schenn to make the score 2-1 for the St. Louis Blues. The Ducks press with 4.5 minutes left. Strome's denied on a breakaway with 3 seconds left. The Blues get a power play, which was a theme in today's games. But we go to the second period. The Ducks finish the kill. Leddy has a net feed. That's picked off. At 3:41, Vetrano. It's one that Binnington knocks into his own net by accident, but Vetrano's credited with the goal to tie the game. Killorn and Zegras with the assists. So Vetrano, he only had 1 goal in his previous 15 games. He had a couple today. Shots are 5-2 for the Ducks, 5.5 minutes in. The Ducks press are kept to the outside. Lindstrom has a shot, or Lindstrom, I should say, has a shot that deflects out. Things get punchy after Tucker takes a high stick. And I totally understand why things get punchy there. The Blues end up coming out of that with a power play as well, and they score on it. It's Thomas from Krug and Kyrou at 13:36. Makes the score 3-2 for the Blues. And then at 15:50 on a rush, Buchnevich wires one. Kyrou and Perunovic with the assist. So Kyrou with some points tonight, and that's great because he's had kind of a bit of a down year by his standard, and so if he finishes strong, there you go. 58.2 seconds left. The Ducks get a power play, so that rolls over into the third period. It is a 4-2 lead for the Blues headed into that third period, and in the third, Leo Carlsson, who is starting to produce, he scored from Lundestrom and Terry at 1:02. He buries it from the side of the net. Blues press to respond. We get a power play for St. Louis. And it's like Schenn watched that goal and went, yeah, I could do that. He buries one from the side of the net as well. It's his 19th of the season. Kyrou and Thomas with the assists at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. The Ducks press at 4.5 minutes, and then Vetrano wires one from the slot at 8:04. Zegras and Strome with the assists. And then at 16:09, Carlson scores to tie it. Killorn and Fowler with the assist. It's another one wired from the slot. So you can blame that on the defense. You can blame it on goaltending positioning. Depends on your point of view. But we go to overtime. And that guaranteed we'd have an 80s magnet. So the Blues controlled early. The teams exchanged turnovers. Binnington poke checks Zellweger. It was a nice play by him and close. Schenn has a shot that's held. We go to a shootout. In the shootout, Kyrou ends up with the winner. Your final score is 6-5 in a shootout for the St. Louis Blues. They go to 41-32-5 on the season. With the overtime loss, Anaheim 23-48-5. Shots on net, 15-10 Anaheim in the first, 12-11 Anaheim in the second. Both teams had 7 shots in the third. The shots were 4-3 in the overtime for Anaheim. Final shots, 38-31 for the Ducks. Power plays, St. Louis 2 for 3, Anaheim 0 for 2. So special teams didn't help Anaheim, as has been the case a lot this season. Hits 20-16 for the Ducks. Binnington 33 saves on 38 shots. Dostal saved 27 out of 32. So honestly, again, entertaining games. Sometimes when you have two teams that are out of the playoff hunt, those can be kind of entertaining games. All right, now we'll talk about the game that's been stressing me out, which is Dallas and Colorado. I am terrified when Colorado's behind. I think I'm more comfortable watching a game when a team I cheer for against Colorado is losing than when they're winning. This is an 80s magnet as well. If the cassette that is missing, or not missing, if the cassette, if I can get it off the board, See, that's the winding the cassette thing, which we all had to do in the 80s. You know, I even had cassettes that I knew were going to get eaten. I had a boombox that would just eat them, and I got to the point where it was so common I could hear it click. I'd be like, that's the tape's getting eaten, and I'd be able to turn it off before the tape actually got eaten. So if you're that under the age of 30, wah 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 wah. All right, so it's Ottinger versus Georgiev in this one. Early press by Dallas, but on their first shot, Colorado scored. And so there I went. Walker with this one from Duhaime and Colton at 159. So Sean Walker gets his 10th of the season. It's 1-0 for Colorado. Stars pressed to respond. The fans call one. The referee does not. Shots are 6-1 Dallas at 6 minutes. And all I can think is, great, they're going to get all the shots and allow all the goals. This is... But again, tonight Dallas, they went against what I normally see with teams against Colorado. So Johnston's denied. The Avs rush. The Stars press at 8 minutes. McKinnon fires one wide on a rush. The Avs press with 8 minutes left. The shots are 10-5 for Dallas with 4 minutes left. And then at 17 minutes and 11 seconds, Duchesne scores on a rush from Tanev. That was his first goal in 6 games. Not 17. If you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. Colton's then denied and close. And at 19-17, Ben buries a rebound. So Dallas has the lead, Lindell and Johnston with the assists, and suddenly it's 2-1 for Dallas. 10.5 seconds left, though. The Avs get a power play. So again, I couldn't relax throughout the whole game. I just can't. So second period, the Stars finish the kill. Dallas presses at 2.5 minutes. The Avs go back to the power play. They score on this one. It is Lehkonen from McKinnon and McCarr at 4:38. Like I said, I knew McKinnon was at least going to get a point tonight because it's a home game. So the Avs press at 5.5 minutes. Suter has a screenshot. That's held. We got a 4-minute Stars power play, and this is where Dallas really did impress me. First off, during the first 2 minutes, Rope Hint scores from Pavelski and Harley at 11:25, and then during the second 2 minutes, they scored again. It's Sagan going 5-hole from the slot. Duchesne and Harley with the assists at 12:45. Then the Stars go back to the power play, and they score on this one as well. Marchment from Harley and Johnston at 17:10. Marchment buries his own rebound there. Harley with 3 helpers in a row. And so Thomas Harley having himself a big game. But it's Colorado, so you can't relax. And at 19:15, Duhaime buries a rebound. McKinnon and Mittelstadt with the assists. So after 2 periods of play, the score is 5-3 for Dallas. But the Colorado Avalanche lead the NHL in third period comebacks when they're down by multiple goals. It said on the screen there were 4 of them, and I'm thinking, yeah, I've watched all those games. I know Colorado, when they're down going into the third, are somehow more dangerous than when they're leading going into the third. So the Avs press a minute and a half in. The Stars are on the defense a lot. I felt like they were kind of sitting back, like, I get it. You want to protect the lead, but I like it when you protect the lead by forechecking, keeping the puck at the other end. I also understand this is Colorado, a very talented team. Easier said than done. So Lehkonen has a rush chance that's saved. Colton has one that deflects out. The shots are 3-1 for the Avs at the half. And at 10:15, after an icing by Dallas, Drouin, off of a face-off win, scores from Taves, so he makes them pay for that icing. That gets the game a little bit closer at 5-4. But at 15-12, Johnston buries a loose puck to make it 6-4. Stankoven and Ben with the assists. So Stankoven, not a goal tonight, but he gets a helper there. They would pull the goaltender. They had opportunities. Jake Ottinger earned his money in that third period. He absolutely did. Nice positional saves to keep Colorado from getting one. Because when it was 5-3 after the second, I basically said to Yvonne, if this is a 6-5 win for Colorado, I'm not going to be happy. The empty netter, Sagan gets it. He scores from Ben at 19:51. I believe it was Johnston that had shots at the empty net that just wouldn't go because they were getting blocked by Mittelstadt. But at any rate, your final score is 7-4. Dallas now a really good chance they end up winning the division. They go to 49-26-9. They also have a really good chance of being first in the West and maybe fighting the Rangers for first overall. But the Colorado Avalanche dropped to 48-24-6 with the loss. Shots on net, 13-12 Dallas in the first, 16-13 Dallas in the second, 15-8 Colorado in the third. Final shots are 40-37 for Colorado. Power plays, Dallas scored on all 3 they had. Colorado scored on 1 of their 2. Hits, 36-14 for Colorado. Ottinger, 36 saves on 40 shots. He was solid when it mattered. Georgiev, 30 saves on 36 shots. I still think we're going to end up with a goalie controversy in Colorado. I do. I just get the feeling. But anyways, Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.